So I remember going home that same day and I remember asking my mom, like, Mama, what is gay? And I remember her getting very defensive, like, why? Why? Where'd you hear that at? And I was like, some boy told me that I was gay. I remember telling my mom on the first day of school, like, Mama, like, this year is gonna be different. Like, people aren't gonna talk about me anymore. I just remember someone coming up to me and he was like, what's up, gay boy? And I remember him walking up to my mom and he was like, your son gonna be gay when he get older. He honestly tried to torture me because I was gay. So since you tried to embarrass me in front of everybody, I'm gonna beat your ass and embarrass you in front of everybody the next day.
Yes! Yes! Come on!
Hey guys, if y'all not following this y'all are
Losers.
lames.
Lame.
Y'all are lames.
I dress way better than you niggas. I know you be. You gave her a perk in the blood and the rags. Yeah, you fuck for cheap. She know I'm about Barbie. It don't cost a nine for her to fuck with me.
Coming out story time, take one. What's up, everybody? It's your boy Top Tier motherfucking Shawn, and I'm back at it again with another freaking video. And now in today's video, I just have the title, and I just said it. I'll be telling y'all my little story time on how I came out. Very simple, very cute, very something that people can learn from, and I feel like I still, dwell on it and think about it all the time. I feel like, for starters, everybody should come out when it's time, when you feel like it's time. I feel like don't ever let nobody pressure you into coming out. Do it when you feel like it's best to come out. You don't have to, just come out when you're ready. That's the only advice that I can give you. Now, let's just start back in the early times. I was always very, very flamboyant. I feel like for the longest, I had always been very, very flamboyant, and I don't feel like it has something to do with me being around all girls, but that's just all I knew. You know what I mean? So when I was in Head Start, I had always been attracted to both boys and girls. My whole entire life, I've always thought, oh, I'm gonna like boys and girls. So I remember when I was in Head Start, I had a boyfriend and a girlfriend, and of course they didn't know about each other. And I feel like the reason why I felt like it was bad to have a boyfriend is because, especially at that day and time, two gay men in a relationship was not something that was broadcasted, nor was it something that was celebrated. I didn't know anything about that. I had never seen it on TV. I didn't know if it was the right thing to do or if it was the wrong thing to do. So it was always something that I did in secret. I remember getting caught just being with boys in Head Start. I'm not gonna go too much into details. I had boyfriends. We used to like get caught kissing and stuff on the playground and stuff like that. As a mother, you always know when your child is gay. As a parent, you always know when your child is gay. So my mother always, would catch little things that I would do. I was very, very flamboyant as a child, like I said. And I think once I got into elementary school, I started to experiment more and talk to more boys and do stuff in that manner. And I always had a boyfriend and a girlfriend. Of course, they didn't know about each other. And no, I'm not a hoe. I didn't know if it was right or wrong. So I guess you could say my second grade year is the first time that I ever heard the word gay. I was at a new school, and I just remember someone coming up to me and he was like, what's up, gay boy? And I kind of froze because his tone was very pointed, but I didn't know if he was being rude to me. I didn't know what gay was. So I kind of just froze, and I was like, and then I remember everyone laughing at me. And I don't know if it was because I was I don't know. I feel like I was just very pure and I didn't know anything about those things. And I just wasn't used to being rude to people, especially at that age. So I didn't know that word. I didn't even know what that word was. I had never heard it until that day. But I didn't know that it was a slur. At that time, that was like a slur. You know what I mean? Like, when I go back and I think about it, and y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like when someone was saying gay, like, it's not celebrated. Well, at that time it wasn't celebrated. It was to be like a slur. It was to hurt people's feelings. So I remember going home that same day and I remember asking my mom, like, Mama, what is gay? And I remember her getting very defensive, like, why? Why? Where'd you hear that at? And I was like, some boy told me that I was gay. And I just remember her saying, like, if you are gay, like, she kind of explained it. No, actually, I just remember her saying, like, oh, well, gay means happy. Now, I'm not going to say that that's the right thing to say to a child, because what I'm about to tell you next kind of double down on that. So I remember he would come up to me all the time and he would be like, oh, what's up, gay boy? And he would like try to provoke me every single day, but at the time I didn't know that's what he was doing until I sit back and I think about it now. And I wouldn't say anything because my mom told me that it meant happy. So I had an after school program, and I remember this girl saying to me like, oh, you're gay. And I was like, yeah, I'm happy. You're right, I am happy. And she was like, no, that mean you like boys. You're gay. You're gay as hell. And I'm like, mind you, I'm in 2nd grade. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, this whole time I've been lied to. And like I said, I'm not going to say that my mom was wrong for doing that, but she just wanted her little boy to stay a little boy, I guess. Like, she didn't want me to worry about those things. I remember there was times, like, early on in my childhood when I would just like dance and do splits and stuff like that, and my dad, like, he would get on to me. And when I say my dad, I mean my sister's dad, but he's been in my life since I was 2 years old. I think later on in my childhood, I remember I think this was during the summertime, I had a boyfriend and his name was BJ, and basically our summer camp teacher caught us, I had whispered in his ear and I told him to touch my private area, and basically my teacher her daughter caught us under the table and told, and I got sent to go live with my biological father. And it kind of just went from there. Like, he kind of tried to torture me to not be gay, and like, it's not nothing to really play with. Like, he honestly tried to torture me because I was gay. I was a gay little black boy, and who wants their son to just be gay, you know what I mean? So he used to try to torture me and like I was basically in a boot camp every day, and like if I did something that he didn't like, he would like make me like do like exercises and stuff like that, or yell at me, you know, stuff like that. So I remember like my whole elementary school life, that's kind of how it happened. People would call me gay and this and that, this and that. So I started whooping ass. Now that I know what gay was, like, I started beating ass, and I would fight someone literally almost every single day. Literally, like, and it would never get documented. Like, I just would, if you called me gay, I'm gonna beat your ass. If you said something along those lines, I'm going to beat your ass, because now I know what it is. So, when it really started to hurt my feelings, I believe, 6th grade year, I moved back to my hometown or whatever because I was living in Atlanta. So 6th grade year, I was at a new school. It was, you know, time to make a new name for myself, because that's all I was hearing my whole entire life in elementary school. I remember one time, I don't remember exactly what grade I was in, but this is when skinny jeans were starting to come up, and my mom, like, she used to always have me in all the newest J's, all the newest fashion, I think that's why I love fashion so much today, and I started to look more into it. And I remember my mom was dating this boy, and we went to his house, and his friend was talking to me and my cousin, and he was talking about skinny jeans or whatever, and I was like, yeah, I love skinny jeans. I have like almost every color. And I remember him walking up to my mom, and he was like, your son gonna be gay when he get older. And still to this day, those words kind of haunt me, because it's like, I was a fucking child. Like I said, I've always been very, very pure, you know what I mean? So it's like, I didn't know that's, you know, I didn't know that that was the wrong thing to say. And I think that's how it always was. I was just always very, very, a very, very sweet, sweet person, a very sweet soul. And I feel like all of that used to just come back to bite me in the ass, and it would always come up as me being gay. So when I got to 6th grade, I remember everybody's voices were changing and everything like that. And I remember this one girl, she said to me like, oh, Deshawn, I thought you was fruity. And I'm like, oh, okay. Like, that was the way that people would approach me. That was their first conversation. I'm like, bitch, like, are you fucking serious? Like, that's the way that you start a conversation with me? Like, And they would think that it was funny, but it's only funny because they never went through anything like that. You know what I mean? So those were the starting conversations that I always got. So one day, I think 7th grade year. So I remember I used to get talked about all the time, and people would call me like gay behind my back, but I would never hear it to my face. People always like, oh, is he gay? Is he gay? That was the topic of discussion all the time. Like, I've just always been that nigga. Like, I just was always in somebody's fucking mind, literally. So I used to like get into trouble all the time and like have to argue with someone. And I remember it got to the point where one day this boy decided, like, I've always been that nigga. When I say I was that nigga, I was always that nigga. Like, yes, people thought I was gay, but I was always fly. I always had the latest shit, so niggas knew, like, oh, like, I'm finna fuck with him. Like, that's my ace boom coon, you know what I mean? Like, that was lame as fuck, but you get what I'm saying. So long story short, I remember there was this boy named Jamarian, and everybody used to try to kiss his ass, but me and him was cool because we was on the same football team. So, what happened? Basically, this boy, I forgot his name. It's at the tip of my tongue. I have to find it now. I'm sorry. I have to. I found it. His name was Chavis. So I remember one day, Chavis, while the teacher was gone, Chavis said to while the teacher had left the room for a little while, Chavis said to Jamarian, he was like, Jamarian, look. And he smacked me in the back of my neck. Mind you, at this time, this is when meat patty and neck was like very, very popping, and everybody was trying to do it and whatnot. And I remember telling him, like, nah, nigga, like, you need to chill out with that. Like, next time you do that, I'm gonna beat your ass. Like, don't do that again. And so it's crazy, the next day when the teacher leaves and him trying to like impress Jamarian, he did that. I remember saying, like, nigga, didn't I say next time you do that I was gonna beat your ass? So we got into it or whatever, you know, but he's trying to provoke me because to him I'm like this weak ass gay boy, you know what I mean? But at this time I was not out. Like, I was still questioning myself. I was still trying to determine who I was, but at the same time I was not going to let people take my innocence away from me. I wasn't trying to hear that. So I remember when he did that, we got to arguing. He was like, say something. And I was like, something. And that bitch smacked the fuck out of me. Like, smacked me in my face, like, really hard. And I just got up and I beat his ass really fucking bad. Like, beat his ass bad. Hold on. Okay, so anyways, like I was saying, so we immediately just start fighting. I'm whooping this nigga ass. Don't. Dog walking that ass. Walking like a dog. Like, beating that ass real bad. And I really just gained a lot of respect from that. So then the next following year, everybody started getting deeper voices and everything like that. And my voice just was not changing. So I was immediately a target again. And everyone started to constantly talk about me behind my back and would talk about me. Would never say anything to my face and whatnot. So it just kind of went from there. So I remember my 8th grade year, I moved into a different school. And I moved to the different part of my hometown or whatever. It's kind of like everything is divided in parts. I remember telling my mom on the first day of school, like, mama, like, this year is gonna be different. Like, people aren't gonna talk about me anymore. I remember telling her, like, I'm not going to let anyone have that motive or like think that about me this year. I didn't want to say gay, like, but I just was always like, I'm not gonna let anyone think that of me this year. Like, they're not going to think that of me. And it kind of just went from there. So I remember everything. I thought in my head that I was fooling everyone. I thought that everyone wasn't thinking that I was gay. I remember like the 2nd or 3rd week of school, I remember one of my closest friends now, but at that time she was not. I remember her saying to me, yeah, because I remember we all thought you was gay. And she said it in front of everybody. And I remember immediately just feeling very embarrassed and betrayed. Like, I thought like it was the ultimate betrayal. Like, I felt like this was someone that I was really, really close with, and for her to kind of like make me the butt of the joke, it kind of just hurt my feelings. And it kind of just went from there. Everyone thought I was gay. Everyone talked about me behind my back. No one said anything to my face. And I remember one time I was in the lunch line and I was just getting my food, and I remember this one girl, she literally is like, she looks, acts, and talks like a dyke. I'm not even gonna get too much into her. Like, is dyke a bad word? She's like, she looks like a butch queen. I'll just say that. She's very butch. And she just was talking shit about me. Like, the boy was like, oh, such and such said you gay, like out of nowhere. And I was like, I'm gay, like, First of all, fuck you. Like, mind you, she was trying to be like, but what was your point in embarrassing me? Like, trying to embarrass me in front of everybody. Mind you, the whole 8th grade goes to lunch together, so you're trying to disrespect me in front of everybody, and I'm just confused on why you're doing this. So I remember going home that same day and just getting into the shower, and the music was loud, and I was crying, and I was just really, really sad, and the water was hitting my back. I remember asking God, like, why is this happening to me? And mind you, my arms are on the wall, and I'm just boohoo crying. And I'm like, can you please just take me out of this world? Like, I don't want to be here anymore. Like, I'm not going to unalive myself, but I just much rather be dead. Like, I don't want to be here anymore. Like, why are you doing this to me? And I kind of go back to that moment in my life, and I just look at it now and I smile. And it's something that I never want to get back into. Like, I never want to get back into that mindset. And so I kind of always try to spread positivity and try to like help people in that moment, because I feel like people try to put a narrative or put what they believe I was onto me, when in reality I was just a funny class clown, a child who was just trying to be myself. I remember getting bashed and talked about my whole entire life because of the way I dressed, because people thought I dressed gay. I don't understand how you can fucking dress gay, bitch. Do you want me to wear dirty baggy ass jeans and a fucking dirty ass drunk neck shirt? Like, I'm confused. Like, what do you want me to do? You want me to look dirty? Like, bitch, I look clean my whole entire life before I even knew who the fuck I was. So going into 9th grade, I was like, I'm gonna get on the football team. I'm gonna get on the football team. And I remember my mom asking, like, are you trying to do this because you don't want people to believe that you're gay? And I was like, no. But that's exactly what it was. Like, I knew that I was different from everyone else. I didn't want to believe that I was gay. And I remember telling my mom, like, I'm bi-curious. I am bi-curious. I am curious. I want to know what I am. But I'm not going to let anyone define who I am as a person. So I was trying to take it day by day and trying to like focus on my happiness. And 9th grade year, it kind of just went from there. But niggas, like, I was a threat to other people. Like, I always was around the baddest bitches. So people got mad because I was around the baddest bitches. So they would try to call me gay because they thinking I'm fucking with the girl that they want. But in reality, we're just best friends. And I ended up getting in a fight in September because I remember walking into class and people always ask me, was I gay? I would deny it. And I was sitting in class this one day, and the bell had rung, so everybody was leaving. And me and my homegirl, we doing our work. And this boy, we're just gonna call him Football Head. Football Head walks up to me. He's like, everybody wanna know if you gay, nigga. And he ran out the classroom. So since you tried to embarrass me in front of everybody, I'm gonna beat your ass and embarrass you in front of everybody the next day. And that's exactly what I did. I beat his motherfucking ass. I beat his ass so bad. And everything just kind of went from there. My 10th grade year, my 9th grade year, it was kind of what molded me into the person that I was. I remember I started to become friends with gay people, and there was this one gay boy in particular that I was friends with, and he started to secretly tell everybody that me and him were together. But at that same time, I started to find out what DL was, and I started to find out that I attracted a lot of down low boys at my school. Like, I can write a fucking book on it. So it kind of just went from there. I think that's when I finally I came into terms with who I was as a person, and I told my mom. And my mom was really upset about it, and I'm not bashing her, but she just like kind of distanced herself away from me because she didn't like the way that I kind of like started to move around things. Like, I started talking to a boy and whatnot. It kind of just went from there. And she kind of distanced herself away from me because she was battling with her own things. So it kind of made me very, very depressed, because I had always told myself, when I come in terms with who I am and when I know who I am, the only person that I care the only person who I care who knows is my mother. I don't care who knows. All I want is my mother to know. And to know that she didn't accept it at that time, it kind of just hurt my feelings. So I ended up lying to her and telling her that I wasn't gay. And I remember my 10th grade year, something very, very dramatic happened. This is how my whole entire family found out. Me and my mom got into it, and I kind of like ran away, but I didn't run away. I went to stay with my dad. I ran to my dad, and I remember me and my mom got into it, and I was like, you're just mad because I told you the truth. And she was like, what? And we just got in this big ass argument. I was like, you're mad because I'm gay. Yes, I do like niggas, and you're mad about it. And it kind of just went from there, and ever since that moment, me and my mom are literally like the closest of best friends. Like, that is my #1 supporter. Like, she supports me no matter what. Like, even if she does not like it, which the gay thing is I mean, every parent knows. She's not mad about that. She doesn't care about that. She just didn't like the way that I was going about it, talking to people. She wanted me to wait till I was out of school. Of course, it didn't go like that though. And that's just how I started to tell my whole entire family. And I want y'all to listen to this video. My dad, he told me this, and this just really makes me happy to listen to. I want y'all to hear this video. This is, I don't know if y'all can hear this, but this is what my dad said to me.
So I can like what you like, but at the same time, I just feel like you're young right now, son. You feel what I'm saying? When you're young, you're grown. You say you get to college.
And that's just like, it just kind of like, that didn't really justify everything that was said, but my dad was one of my biggest supporters, and before my mother even supported me, my dad was always there for me. And it's so cute. I want to put the picture right here. My 11th grade prom, my dad whispered in my ear, and he was like, you finna be pulling all the niggas, son. Like, you look fly. Like, you look good, son. And it's just times like that when it's just like, thank you for having my mom and my dad. And like I said, my dad is my sister's dad, but he's been in my life since I was 2 years old. I do not mess with any of my biological father's side of the family. They are a mess, literally. But yeah, it's just times like that when you just really are thankful for the people who support you. My whole entire family supports me on my mother's side, and my dad's side, they support me as well. Like I said, not my biological father's side, I don't talk to any of them, but my dad, when I talk about my dad, that's who I'm talking about. My dad, who's been alive since I was 2 years old. And ever since that, I've just been trying to spread positivity and show people like you can be who you are. You don't ever let someone put a label on you. You come out when you're ready. You do what you feel is best for you. And I feel like I'm a walking testimony. Like, I literally am here. I feel like God put me on this earth to help other people and teach people to love themselves and self-love and everything like that. So that's pretty much my coming out story time. I'm sorry y'all if that was short and choppy, but that's the way I remember it. I love you guys so much. Y'all make sure that y'all follow my social medias right here. I'm always here to help people. I'm always here to talk to people. If you ever need my help, let me know. Y'all can always follow me. I do follow back. If you ever need some words of encouragement or some advice, I'm always here. I swear to God. I love y'all.